Apparently, only white Westerners are worried about migration, except that is clearly not true. People are quick to pathologize Europeans for problems that exist all over the world, for reactions that people of different skin colors would make in the same circumstance or the same situation. It's white Westerners. Recently in South Africa, there has been an increase in anti-migrant protest, anti-migrant violence, burning of shops, assault, even killings in some cases. And guess what? These migrants aren't white people. They're concerned about other blacks, about other African citizens, Nigerians, Ghanaians, other African countries coming in and benefiting, whether legally or illegally.
After weeks of anti-migrant protests, Ethiopian business owner, who we'll call Ahmed, says he's packing up his shop for fear of harassment and looting. He's been living in Durban for 20 years and says this is not the first time he's seen demonstrations against foreigners.
When this kind of vigilantism happen on our business situation, and it's not easy to recover. As I said, we are not corporates who had backed by the insurance companies.
Imagine he's worked for 20 years, he's had his business for 20 years. He's not a corporation that has insurance, big corporation. The ones that have a history of exploiting the local population. He's not one of them. He's just a hardworking person who's opened up a business in this country, and because of anti-migrant fears, because of anti-migrant protests, he's packing everything up. You don't see people in this country, black people, Asians, running away because of the anti-migrant protests. Because there's a rule of law here somewhat, they know that they wouldn't be able to get away with that. But these are supposed Africans. We're not talking about white migrants here. We're talking about other Africans that are being driven out of South Africa for fear of losing their lives, of having all their properties burnt down, their loved ones being attacked, losing their businesses. They'd rather just leave. And we like to demonize white people for trying to protect what they have here, for trying to protect their own countries. But we don't have that same sort of feeling when it's a black person doing it. Do you see the double standard there? It's madness.
Government.
Ahmed wants his identity hidden for fear of reprisal.
Can you imagine?
He says he's concerned by the continuing intimidation of foreigners.
If you know yourself that you're not...
As seen in this video distributed on social media. Here, South Africans ask that foreign nationals identify themselves at a public clinic. They're then told to leave. Those protesting say they're against illegal immigration. They say these migrants are draining resources meant for South Africans.
Wow. Does that sound familiar to you? Does that sound familiar, anybody? Imagine if white people all of a sudden started going into doctor's surgeries. You're sitting in a GP waiting for your appointment. The white person comes up to you and starts asking you where you're from, starts kicking you out of the doctor's surgery. Imagine that happening here. Yeah, you're right. That would never happen here. But somehow, the people that are genuinely concerned about the level of migration here, they are demonized like they're the devil for wanting to protect something that their ancestors fought for. Their own ancestors' bones are in the soil and they want to protect it. They respect their own country. Somehow they're demonized for that.
This is Addington Primary School in Durban. It's where in January protests demanding spots for South African children took place. Demonstrators say foreign children were placed at the school at the expense of South Africans.
And the most time when is a near elections, either is a local or national election, we've been experiencing these kind of attacks to our foreign national.
The most recent marches have taken place in the capital Pretoria and in Johannesburg.
Imagine all of this happening in the UK, these marches, right? They would be labelled as far-right extremists. They would be labelled far-right extremists. But because they're black, nuance is used. They talk about, oh, it's because there's corruption, the economy isn't good, resources, governance. Oh, we've only been in charge of our own country for a few years, that's why. Really? So what's the difference then? Aren't we all Africans? Aren't we all blacks? Aren't we all brothers? It's a joke, mate. It's a performance. Like I said, this is just a performance. Only white Western countries are you not allowed to show concern for your country's borders. Anywhere else, you're given latitude. You tell me a parent that doesn't prioritize their own child first. It's a natural thing. It's natural. That instinct occurs in every country, every race, no matter what color you are. But if you show concern about your own children, as a white, and I'm not here to argue the white cause or what have you. I'm here to argue the British cause, because whether you're white, black, Asian, and you're born here, you too should be concerned, mate. And you too should be allowed to voice a protest. You too should be allowed to show concern. You too should be able to say, listen, I don't want too many people here, whether it's illegal or legal. We should fix what we have here and create jobs for people that are from here. We're not in a position just to allow people to come in and further drain resources that are already scarce.
Ministers blame foreigners, mostly other Africans, for taking jobs and the high crime rate. The tensions have strained relations with...
Hey, imagine if that was a white person that said that. I blame foreigners for the lack of jobs and the increase in crime rate. Oh my gosh. You wouldn't hear the end of it. You would literally hear Keir Starmer coming out and apologizing on behalf of white people for that. He'd be begging. The double standard is incredible. Absolutely incredible. You would literally hear that, white people are the only ones who care about their country's resources or borders. But you literally saw black people throwing out other black people from a clinic in South Africa because those black people are not South Africans. This shows, man, when you have too much migration coupled with governmental ineptitude, covered by crony capitalism, when there's a massive divide between the rich and the poor, this is what you're going to get. When literally you pay for stuff, you're paying taxes, and you get nothing from it. You work and you get nothing. You barely survive. This is what you get. It's nothing to do with skin color. Skin color is just a byproduct. It just so happens that the people that are coming in here are not white. Every country would react the same way. Every skin color would react the same way. I remember when I was in Nigeria, and you had these carrier bags called the Ghana Must Go bags. I remember asking my stepmom, like, what's these Ghana Must Go bags? What's all that about? She was saying that, I think it was the 1970s, that all undocumented migrants, a lot of them were Ghanaians, were kicked out of Nigeria, were mass deported from Nigeria. There are no reparations. Ghana aren't asking for no reparations. People understand that, listen, whether right or wrong, whether you was heavy-handed or not, if there's too much migration and the country is not running the way it should be run, people are struggling, high food prices, no jobs, high levels of crime, no healthcare, you will breed discontent. Nigeria was struggling economically, and their decision was to deport Ghanaians, who they thought were a drain on Nigerian resources. We're not even saying that over here. British people are not even saying that over here. We're just saying, listen, we want to stop the illegal migration and the legal migration and only get people that we think benefit this country. Some people want more. You get some people who are really racist about it. They want all blacks out of here, all ethnics out of here, even the ones that are born here. Fine. But the majority, the average British person, doesn't think like that. They just see that the increase in migration is causing a problem here. It's not helping here. Even if you don't want to say it's causing a problem, you can say it's not helping people that are already here. And we prefer it if we took care of our own first. Charity starts at home. If you just open the doors to this country and just let everyone in, what do you think that's going to do to this country's makeup? What do you think it's going to do? People that come here, that aren't born here, don't have that connection to this country. They won't fight for it. And I'm not talking about on the war front. I mean, literally fight for it. If you see someone being a victim of crime, trying to step in, cleaning up after yourselves, being responsible for your community, how it looks, litter, stuff like that. I'm not trying to trivialize it, but you can only appreciate those things when you're from that place. Some foreigners can come in and they'll be literally like, you know what? I appreciate this country, and I don't want to litter. I don't want to commit crimes. I don't want to just use it. I don't want to just milk it for what it is. I want to contribute to it. A lot of people do that. If we genuinely brought in the real teachers and doctors and nurses, do you reckon there'd be this discontent? Do you reckon people will be so against this migration? I don't think so. Like, you don't see people screaming about Filipinos and kick them out of here. Because when they come here, they work hard, they try to fit in, they get on. They become respectable, positive members of the community. They're an asset. But the people that we're bringing in, the majority, aren't assets. This gig economy is just relying on cheap labor, and we're just sticky plastering over the real issues, the real problems. And I'm telling you, it will be too late when we notice that our country is about to fall. It really is. We're literally creaking right now. We can't afford any more stupid decisions from the political class. We've got to be sensible now. Not overreact. I'm not saying we start going from door to door and deporting people, but first of all, you can start by stopping the immigration, legal immigration, putting a really capping it and only getting the creme de la creme in here.
Protesters blame foreigners, mostly other Africans, for taking jobs and the high crime rate.
Let's fix South Africa. Did you see that t-shirt? Let's fix South Africa. If you ever said, let's fix Great Britain first before we start bringing in all these people, you'd be far right, mate. Hate speech.
Tensions have strained relations with countries like Ghana and Nigeria. While Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, has condemned the demonstrations, he says he's spoken with officials in those countries to deal with irregular migration.
There is also disinformation that is widespread. Some of the things, the videos are not reality of what is happening in South Africa. And there is marches that are happening that all of you have seen. And we did confirm that we condemn any violence that comes with these marches.
Foreign nationals blame local authorities for not adequately dealing with immigration and the renewal of documentation. South Africans participating in the protests also blame local authorities, but for corruption.
Listen, this isn't about skin color, man. This is about human behavior under pressure. You understand? When pressure builds in the country, people naturally look for someone to blame. And most of the time, I can tell you, I know who to blame. It's the government. It's the government. We need to wisen up and understand that the people that we are electing into office to represent us are not doing their jobs. They are failing. And at the same time, are gaslighting us for calling out these failures. And this is on the left and the right, even though I don't believe in that crap. They're all the same. Two cheeks of the same arse. But Boris let him in. Tony Blair let him in. Keir Starmer still letting him in. The levels of migration, people crossing on boats, it's all the same. Really, if you just look at it, it's just the same. They all worship at the same altar. Housing pressure, unemployment, schools, crime. When that is failing, when you're seeing these things, when you can't even rent a place, a decent place for decent money anymore, you're going to be like, what is the cause of that? If the country's doing well, you don't look at foreigners and think, what are you doing here? You get on with your business, you do your thing. When you're prosperous, when the country's prosperous, it has no appetite for this sort of feeling. But when the country isn't doing well, when the country is struggling, being run poorly, this is what you get. People going on like discontent with too much migration is uniquely a white thing. Like white people are the only skin color that can look at a country not doing well and think, hey, too much migration here, let's curb it. When black people are literally doing the same thing. Even the government official, he was condemning violence, but even he understands that migration is an issue. Come on, man. We need to have genuine, grown-up discussions about this without all the name calling, without demonizing someone, calling someone racist for caring about his country. This isn't some sort of cartoonish patrioticism. Sometimes it's just as black and white as, yo, it is not going well in this country. The last thing we need to do is bring a whole heap of people from another country. Enough is enough. We should be able to say, listen, we just don't want too many people here. We prefer it when the roads are not just chock-a-block with traffic. We prefer it when we could see our GPs on the same day. We prefer it when we could easily get a job. Like, these things are normal. You're allowed to show fear, be a little bit irrational without being called racist, you know. You go to any other countries in the world, not just South Africa, go to any other country and that country is struggling. And the native population see migrants coming in and then being gaslit that they're in the wrong for showing concern. Mate, houses will burn. People will get hurt. They show restraint in this country. The easygoingness of the British person, of the average British person, is allowing people to get away with straight gaslighting, straight lying to our faces, demonizing people for showing concern for their children, for their family, for their country. When will this end? When will we have this discussion? When will we admit that there is a problem here and that we can't keep going the same way? We can't keep going on. We can't keep borrowing crazy amounts of money. We can't keep bringing in people here, paying for them, paying for their hotels. There must be a solution. Listen, what do you think, man? Write in the comments what you think. Maybe I'm just a racist. Maybe I'm a bootlicker. But I tell you one thing, I'm genuinely fearful for the direction that this country is taking. Please like, share and subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching. Mind how you go, yeah?